Basically.
Artemis is asking what's the completion of my podcast, but I think she's referring to the Spotlight video.
Yeah, we have gone into the future Saturday night, and Sanosuke has already completed a podcast he has not yet to attend. But if you're asking him about his Spotlight videos, Sanosuke has the answer.
Yeah.
I'm not Sanosuke.
I'm not giving any
spoilers.
No. She says she forgot about that, so she's not worth the answer in the first place. Moving on.
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing. Moving on. So, what is currently happening in the game right now?
Characters are speaking to each other like they often do in a visual novel.
As they're wont to do in visual novels.
Yes.
Exciting stuff. So this, her name is May, the purple-haired chick?
Yes. Amana Hosaka.
AKA Rin Tosaka.
Right. She's a tsundere. You know that word, tsundere? We like to fling around.
Yeah, of course. Richie in the chat.
You gonna spill the beans though this weekend, dude? I have never seen that blue face that Artemis or Smiley. What's it called? Twitch emote? That's a new one.
That typing hype.
Yeah, man, I was thinking to myself, what is Sanosuke's words per minute?
Oh, I'm a good bit over 100.
Okay, shit, man.
It's been quite a while since I've been tested, but like back when I was in like 7th and 8th grade, I was already like 70 something words per minute.
Yeah, that's.
I have quite the affinity for typing. Richie asks me, Sanosuke, do you plan to make a stream anytime soon? I do not. I do not own any streaming equipment. Maybe sometime in the future I might, because I just hopping on commentary for this stream. It's been a lot of fun. I'm thinking it might be something that would be cool to do in the future, but that would be well into the future, and I have no current plans whatsoever at this time.
Yes, it's true that whatever Sanosuke touches turns to gold.
You said it, not me. Much appreciated, brother.
Yes. I do, like, I'm curious about your radio work, like the things.
Yeah. Actually,
are you like a DJ for radio? Or I'm not sure what the term for that is. Like, I'm not too sure what sort of work. I don't know if it's too personal or not, but
I myself am not a DJ. I've been what's the word I'm looking for? I've been what's the word I'm looking for? Damn. Can't think of it at the moment. But I've done work for DJs.
Okay.
I'm basically a freelance voiceover artist. Oftentimes I do a lot of IDs for radio stations. IDs are like when a radio station has basically a commercial for itself. The guy that's talking and saying like the name of the radio station, talking about the type of music they cover, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I typically do on a freelance basis.
Very interesting.
Yeah. It's cool stuff. I actually first got into the radio stuff because I connections with a guy who works at the theater that I've done a lot of shows at over the past few years. He actually runs a radio station, and he knows I have a great voice, and I've been in a lot of the shows he's directed, and he saw potential in me, and so he started getting me these radio gigs, and we've been working together for a while.
Okay, that's awesome stuff. It definitely helps to have connections.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, connections, especially like in the entertainment business, they are absolutely vital. It's not people say it's like it's not who you know, it's what you know, and not what you know, it's who you know. That's not true. Truthfully, it's who knows you when you're not in the room. Because that way, even when you're not present, to say, oh, I have this connection, that connection. As long as you have connections with people all around, there's always going to be somebody who's keeping you in mind for whatever potential work may arise in the future. And so, connections are absolutely crucial. But yeah, cool stuff. But again, in the grand scheme of my ambitions, my aspirations in the entertainment industry, this is very small scale stuff, but I'm young, I have a lot of time, and I'm working towards, going bigger.
Okay.
Realizing a lot of my dreams.
It helps to have dreams and goals to set for yourself.
Yeah.
We all want to accomplish our goals and have realistic goals that we can actually achieve. That's.
Well, what do you define realistic?
you.
A lot of people. Realism, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
It's what people. Some people might think, one person's aspiration is completely out of this world, just ridiculous. Whereas, if they have the ability, if they have the skill, the talent, and the drive, the ambition, who's to say that it's impossible?
Right, indeed. But I agree with that. All the same.
Yeah.
Without dreams and goals, then what sort of motivations do we have to continue onward?
Yeah.
So definitely, it helps to have, like, you want to look at the future and say, be curious about the future, be working toward the future, trying to hopefully reach whatever goal you set out for yourself.
Right. Richie says that a big goal of his in life is to be a great artist. He's loved drawing since he was a toddler. A good friend of his is pursuing digital animation. That's cool. Richie, how about you link your DeviantArt in the chat for everyone can get a glimpse of your stuff.
Oh yeah, mad props to anyone with any sort of skill with art, drawing. I am not one of those people. I can draw stick figures. And
Yeah. Right. But hey, man, art comes in many different forms.
It's definitely a talent.
Skill,
talent.
Yeah. My talent. The word talent and talented, truthfully, is quite possibly my least favorite word in the entire English language.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's something that gets thrown around so flippantly. Not to say that you're doing it, but it's something that people say so often, and they don't mean ill by it at all, you know. But it's something that gets thrown around without people actually thinking about what the word means. You know, people say that, you know, one person is crazy, awesome, amazing at this one thing, and this other person is phenomenal at this other thing, and they can say, oh well, they're so talented, you know. But the word talented, by definition, means that it's an innate ability, you know? It's something that came natural to them. And if you say someone is talented in something, you know, that is completely undermining whatever incredibly hard work that they did to grow skilled in that thing, you know? You can say someone's talented and like, well, you know, oh, he's an amazing artist, but what if this guy spent, you know, thousands of nights of his life, you know, in front of a board, constantly drawing away, developing his craft, you know, working his ass off to become the great artist he is. He's not talented, he's skilled. And I will always have infinitely more respect for the person who is not talented and then becomes skilled in something than someone who has a natural knack for it and is just automatically amazing. And I feel as though talent will only take you so far, but that hard work can break boundaries that, you know, talent can fall on prey to. That's what I feel.
Well spoken, man. Well,
thank you, man. That's something I've thought about a lot in my life. Talent versus skill, and I always have more respect for the latter.
Artemisa Bend needs a mentor. Are you up to the task, Sanosuke?
Huh? What?
She needs a mentor.
She says I can use a life lesson in motivation. My behavior can use some rework. Having borne witness to such your lack of motivation, I can certainly attest to that. No offense intended.
We have a very sexy character on screen.
Oct! That's Oct, isn't it?
Yes.
Alright. Hey, you're ahead of me, so you know, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I just see your face. She's an older woman, isn't she?
She uses ice powers. No. Women are in what am I saying? Girl, she's in her 20s. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Alright. Because shout out to the cougars of the world. I've always been. I've always had an affinity towards older women.
Are 20s considered cougar status?
No, well, it depends on what your age is. I'm 21, so obviously not. But you know, I've always had an affinity for the older women of the world. So, age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh, dude, I repeat that all the time.
Amen, brother.
I say that all the time. Like, age is just a number.
Ain't nothing but a number. That's what I'm talking about. Richie says, he quotes you, we have a very sexy character on screen. Hey, in a black man face. So apparently, Oct and S are going at it.
Yes, she's taking on the whole she's taking on the whole party by herself.
That's sexy.
She's just that badass. She can probably solo tear me without even blinking an eye. But yeah, she's like an ice mage. If you're Kion, she uses fire magic, so they're like in opposition. I couldn't tell you like if does fire beat ice or does most people would say fire beats ice, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
And Mei has like I don't even know what her magic is, like purple falcons swooping in to attack you.
Okay.
I can't really tell you much about it. With the animation style that is used, you see everything on like a 2D plane, so it's not like, well, you see everything in a two. That wasn't a very good like descriptor, because in Blaze Blue all the actions are in a 2D plane as well. But I meant like in a visual novel animation where everything is broken up. It's like at 15 frames per second or something. So you can't really get a good idea of, say, how would this character play if they were a character in an upcoming BlazBlue fighter or in a BlazBlue series. How would they fight? We don't know. We can imagine. We can speculate.
Right.
I do want a mage, and I guess 9 would be the
obvious choice.
Yeah, the character with the highest possibility of being playable, being a mage.
I guess she would actually be Phantom. But let's talk about 9 for just a second. Was I the only person? I know I wasn't the only person.
Okay.
But I was terribly, terribly disappointed when I first heard 9's English voice actress.
Okay.
Like, what the hell? Like, what in the actual hell was that about?
So,
you do recall her voice, right?
Yeah. So what do you? What was your comment on her?
Her voice, it was bad. First of all, BlazBlue's dub is excellent, mostly across the board.
Her voice is bad?
Oh yeah, I think it's terrible. I think it's bad, dog. Like 9's voice. Marianne Miller is her voice actress.
Okay.
She does not have a particularly feminine-sounding voice. She sounds very, very boyish. Marianne Miller has voiced many young boys in anime.
Right.
And 9 is a very sexy character, and her voice is anything but.
I guess part of her is she has a masculine side, and that comes across in her voice. Or at least that's probably the voice direction.
No, it's her voice.
No, what I'm saying is that was the voice, the direction when they were saying like this is how 9 is supposed to sound. She's supposed to be somewhat masculine sounding. So I'm saying the voice direction probably aided in how she sounds. But
well, I
mean,
I feel like there were a million other voices she could have had that would have fit infinitely better. Why they decided that this was the best fit? What about that voice made them feel it clicked with the character? I would love to know, because I certainly didn't see it.
I talked about Celica's voice actress in one of my...
Carrie Savage. Now, I actually quite like Celica's on VA. Some rough spots, but, you know.
Yeah, I made a YouTube video, like, looking at how the hell is Celica's English voice actress going to sound when she voices her battle quotes, etc.
Yeah, I watched most of that video.
So I'm a fan of her. Laura Bailey is not in the anime, in the BlazBlue anime.
Yeah, she's being replaced by Alexis Tempton.
Right, I cannot place her voice. Alexis.
Like, listen, replacing a Laura Bailey with Alexis Tipton, that's like taking a roast and replacing it with shit.
Oh, man. Really?
Shots fired. I see you, Alexis.
You have experience with her? Alexis Fenton?
No, I've never liked her.
Okay, because I cannot place her voice. It doesn't come
who, Laura Bailey or Alexis Tipton?
Alexis Tipton.
Okay.
Who does she voice? Do you know?
Have you seen a show? Have you seen a show called Gabre Zero?
I haven't.
Have you seen a show called what's the name of this damn show? Baka and Test?
I've heard of it, but can you tell me like the type of character? Because I may not be familiar with all of her work. So you're telling us it's a massive downgrade.
Oh, by far and away. I mean, Laura Bailey is amazing. Everyone knows that,
okay.
And Alexis Tipton is not.
But can we honestly? So this person, I mean, I agree. Laura Bailey is amazing, but can we say that? Oh, you know, Alexis Tipton's version of Platinum's going to be terrible without us even hearing it?
I would say, well, for the record, I'm mostly just spewing hate just to spew hate. For the record, I'm not like honestly thinking that she's gonna be like the worst thing ever or anything like that.
She's gonna be like the
I'm just hating on her just because
new English voice actor version of Platinum on his tier.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think of the change to Bang's voice?
Terrible. Doesn't everyone hold that opinion? I think that's like,
I mean, come on, it's freaking Tony Oliver. Tony Oliver is awesome. So why he had to stop doing Bang, I don't know.
Probably not enough money or union issue. It could have been. It could have been.
It could have been. See, that was a shame. And then of course, and his Bang was kind of perfect. He was kind of a perfect fit for Bang. And so when Steve Kramer comes in, who sounds about maybe 50 years older than Tony Oliver does, and yet Bang, you know, is obviously still the same damn age. It does not fit. I was Richie says, "Fuck the third Hokage, be a voice actor on Bang." Yeah, it's you know, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to Bang's quote unquote new voice. But you know, if we could have Tony Oliver back, I'd jump at the chance.
Yeah, a lot of people, they talk about Hazuma's new voice actor. They're like,
now here's
terrible.
the thing. What do you think about Hazuma's new voice?
Well, the thing is, like, I didn't have that much experience with Chrono Phantasma Shift. What am I saying? With Continuum Shift.
Chrono Phantasma Shift Extend on King Edition 2012.
I didn't have that much experience with Continuum Shift. So basically, Hazuma's Chrono Phantasma voice actor is like the only one I know. Or when I think of Hazuma, that's who I think of. Or
it's like this.
CP Hazuma is who I think of when I think of Hazuma.
It's like this. Okay, so maybe Hazuma's old voice might have been a bit well. Okay, speaking as an actor myself, I have a firm belief that as far as just pure quality of acting, the new voice is superior. Okay. You know, the older voice posturing was a serious problem. You know, at times he never came across as, I don't want to say earnest, because, you know, it's Hazuma. He's not earnest about anything. But oftentimes he sounded like he was just trying a little too hard.
Okay.
His line delivery, I would oftentimes in story mode, I would skip through Hazuma's lines because Hazuma would talk for so fucking long because he's the guy for so fucking long the guy would take his time, meticulously going through each and every line, and Hazuma would always speak in like paragraphs.
Right.
I just wouldn't have the patience for it. Whereas that's not a problem in the new version because one, the voice acting is just more solid. I do think at times, sometimes, specifically with Hazuma, not Terumi, Hazuma maybe sound a bit too effeminate, almost a bit flamboyant. I think that's part of the problem that people see. But I mean, I love the guy. Doug Errol's is the voice actor, by the way, the new one for Hazuma and Terumi. I think his Terumi is excellent. I love his Terumi. I think all around, I think overall he's just superior. He is superior to the original Hazuma. I feel as though anyone who knows acting will see that. I understand they get attached to the way a character sounds, especially when, you know, you've played BlazBlue Blue for years and maybe this is what you knew and this is what you loved. So it's hard to accept change. But you got to take off your nostalgia goggles, you know, your rose tinted glasses, and try and judge something from a less purely subjective standpoint. So in short, Hazuma's new voice is better.
Okay. I like his new voice. I can't place his Continuum Shift voice actor in my mind, so I can't offer much in the way of my thoughts on how they compare.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you know, and BlazBlue has undergone a number of voice actor changes for various characters over the course of the series. Yeah, so you know, and little known fact, there are actually a couple of characters that are voiced by the same person. Do you know that Tsubaki and Kokonoi share the same voice actress?
Yes.
Yes, Julianne Taylor. And of course Izoi by extension of that. People don't really, you know, it's kind of funny because they don't make that association because the characters are so polar opposite.
Right.
But I mean, the moment you stop and think about it, you're like, okay, they do sound pretty similar. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. And also, David Vincent voices Hakumen and Jin, but you'll notice that in BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, Hakumen sounds far less like Jin than he ever has in the previous games. I'm not sure if they put David Vincent's voice through like some sort of editing
More
But in
likely
previous
than
games,
not.
Hosma and Jin sounded much more alike, and it was very easy to tell they were the same voice actor. Whereas Hakumen does not sound quite as much like Jin in this game as he does in previous titles. But yeah.
Right, the little things that you pick up regarding the voice direction in BlazeBlue.
And I do want to shout out David Vincent in general for because I never particularly like his performance as Jin in previous games. I think, however, in Chrono Phantasma, years and years later, I think he's really improved. I think his Jin is great now. I think he's most improved as far as quality of voice acting. Like people like Patrick Seitz as Ragna, he didn't have to improve because he was always fucking excellent.
Yeah.
He was that role. I feel like he just clicked with it immediately, and now he's been playing Ragnar for years, and he knows the character back and forth, and so it's just so easy for him. And he just keeps. He's not staying stagnant. He keeps getting better and better and better, but he's always been awesome. He has some really great moments.
Yeah.
Acting moments in Chrono Phantasma's story. So shout outs to Patrick Seitz.
Yeah, and
never liked. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, well, you can go. I was just gonna bring up like we're on this topic about the English dub and the speculation for. Like everyone's speculating like who will voice Mai and Keijon in the English English dub Chrono Phantasma.
I've decided against caring.
What's up?
That's nothing. Never mind. It was a failed joke. It was a joke, but you missed it. It was a good one too.
I probably didn't get the reference or something. I don't know.
No, it wasn't a reference. It was just a. No.
Okay, over my head. Moving on.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. Anyway, so I don't know. I think Keijon is a very awkward name for an anime girl, or for anyone. Weird name.
Like this is anime. People have awkward names.
Hey, now, not always. Okay. I mean, a lot of them are Japanese names. You trying to say Japanese names are awkward? That's racist.
Yeah.
That's racist, Zanthos.
I'm saying that
I don't appreciate that.
That they often have unique names.
Unique.
Final Fantasy series is one example.
What now?
Even within BlazeBlue, many characters have unique names. That's
unique.
all I'm saying. Atypical names. Would you name your kid Sephiroth? I don't think so.
Sephiroth? Sephiroth? Would you? I can think of a few people who would.
People do.
I'm sure
I don't know.
I'm sure someone has already done that, actually.
It's been done. I know.
I'm positive it exists.
Yes. Would you name your daughter Keijon?
Keijon? Yeah. No thanks.
Oh god.
But like I was saying, I've never liked Christina V's Noelle. I don't think Noelle has a good voice.
I bet our will give you shit for that. Yeah, we know that. We know that.
I don't think. Like I was saying, I don't think Noelle has a good voice. I think I think her English voice is better. I think her English voice is still pretty bad. So you don't like
Christina V's performance?
No, I do not. Christina V, she's not a particularly good actress. She's not. She sounds very samey. Again, posturing. It's like when she's trying to sound all super like good girl that Noelle is, she comes off sounding just so incredibly artificial that I cannot take her performance seriously 99% of the time. And I don't believe she's improved. I think she's remained stagnant, improvements whatsoever to Noelle's character. It hasn't helped that Noelle, I think, has slowly lessened in importance over the course of the series. Like, I think she had the least prominent role she's ever had in Chrono Phantasma. But Christina V, I think, is just not, she's not a good actress. She's not, whatever. I consider Jameson Price's Tager to be in the same category as Patrick Seitz's Ragna.
Okay.
Has always been awesome. Will always be awesome. Great actor, great performance. You know.
Yes. This is actually really interesting, Sanosuke. Like, I appreciate your insight on the. You know, I'm a big fan of English dubs and the English.
Oh, of course. And I love BlazBlue's English dub. I specifically, even though I imported Chrono Phantasma and had it like a week after release, I didn't touch the story mode until I got the English version. Because one, I wouldn't understand everything, and two, I think BlazBlue's dub is just for almost every single character is far superior than the Japanese vocal track. The Japanese have nothing on the dub overall. And so, you know, I love dubs. I mean, again, I'm an actor, so obviously this stuff is of interest to me.
Right.
Always loved it, so yeah. So I'm greatly enjoy talking about this stuff.
Okay, Richie has got to get going. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Good riddance. Just kidding.
Since I'm trying to actually complete this game, I will probably try to go stream tomorrow for quite a deal of time. So if you're around and you have free time, definitely stop on by.
So yeah, but yeah, going in, I love Julianne Taylor's Kokonoe. Good lord, the money I would pay to have. I was thinking during Extend, the money I would pay to have Kokonoe, Julianne Taylor's English Kokonoe, as like a system voice on the game.
Dude, they should definitely like. I would pay so much money to have for the English dub actors to do system voices, their own system voices.
Come on, that's the money laying on the table, guys.
I know.
Jesus Christ. So much money, dude. So much freaking money. I would pay to have Kokonoe as English voice.
I know.
And I love Kokonoe in all aspects. I adore Kokonoe, and you know her performance just makes me love her all the more. Here's the thing. Okay, I want to talk about the new characters and their vocal performances. One, Grant George as Kaga. Fucking love. Fucking love Kagura. It is so perfect. I cannot picture anyone else playing that role. It's he just gets Kagura as kind of likable, douchebaggy, idiot, lech. It's just you know, that was genius casting. And I've sometimes in the past, I've always had a bit of a problem with Grant George's voice. I've always thought it was a bit awkward. He has, I don't want to call it a lisp, but he has a very strange inflection. It's a kind of a permanent mainstay in his voice acting performances that I've never really liked. But I had no problems with his performance in as Kagura. I thought it was just excellent. So shout out to him. And you can tell, I've never heard him have so much fun behind the mic before. You can tell he's just having a blast. He just loves the character.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing more of him in the next game. DC Douglas as Azrael is another awesome performance. He does maybe not quite as visceral as the Japanese voice actor. There are a couple of voice clips where if you compare the two, you'll see that DC Douglas actually actively avoids going all in, like yelling and screaming and stuff, like blood curdling, you know, just painful apeshit screams. Whereas
it definitely seems like a calmer. Well, his take on Azrael is probably calmer.
Yeah, but here's the thing, but it's not always, and it's not always a negative,
right?
Because some of Japanese Azrael's lines sound a bit freaking ridiculous. Whereas the slightly more muted performance of DC Douglas as the English Azrael actually sounds superior. It sounds more believable, more like a caricature, and more like a character.
Yes,
more like a person.
Different voice direction, I guess.
Yeah, of course. And so, you know, and I enjoy his performance. I especially liked him during the Teach Me Miss Lychee episode.
Okay.
Where Azrael was actually not, he wasn't the bad, serious guy, and he was actually being kind of wacky and funny. And it was nice to hear. It was funny. It was cute.
Yeah.
And plus, Chibi Azrael was adorable.
Oh, right.
Well, Chibi, everyone is adorable, but particularly Azrael for me. Bullet. Let's talk about Aaron Fitzgerald as Bullet. I will say that in battle, when the game first came out, and people were using the English voices for the Japanese version, you hear Bullet in battle, and you're like, wow, she sounds really good. Wow, And in battle, their voice sounds incredibly solid. Bullet isn't a particularly quote-unquote feminine by heteronormative standards woman.
Yeah, dude, talking about 9, I think the voice direction for the Bullet and 9 were similar. Being these brute women, masculine to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. As I was going on to say, Bullet's also does not work outside of battle. I think outside of battle, Bullet's performance is dreadfully mediocre. Aaron Fitzgerald, her voice, her voice is not nearly as low as she wants it to be while she's playing this role. If you listen to her in story mode, her voice, she's constantly struggling to hit that low register.
Okay.
Yeah, hit the low register. And it's like, okay, if you were trying to make a voice that's lower than it's not comfortable. It does not sound comfortable or natural. It sounds like she's forcing herself and purposely has to speak at a lower volume, cannot speak loudly, because the louder you speak, typically the higher the octave of your voice will raise. But she's trying to maintain this low voice, and so she's constantly speaking in almost a whisper, and she sounds, it's a terrible kind of posturing. It just does not sound natural. It sounds very forced, and it betrays the solid performance that she gives in battle.
Right.
But of course, in battle, when she's yelling and stuff, it's fine to raise your voice because you're trying to kill someone, so it's expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, in battle, Bullet sounds great, and outside of battle, not so much. It's a disappointment. Yuri Lowenthal as Amane is quite good. Yeah, I feel as though he could have cranked up the flamboyance and the effeminate nature of speech. He definitely could have cranked it up considerably more. It was a bit too quote unquote masculine because the character is so quote unquote feminine. But I don't know. I'm not sure if Yuri Lowenthal maybe was not comfortable with going too ham on the flamboyance. It could have been better, but his performance was still solid. And who knows? Maybe he'll break free from whatever inhibitions he might have had, and play the role a little more, play it up a little more. Of course, not to the point. You don't want to play to the point that it becomes like a stereotypical, quote unquote, it's like a stereotypical, homosexual male performance. Like, again, you don't want to. That's exactly what you want to avoid. You have to play it with a level of earnesty and respect. Because the moment that you seem as though you're ridiculing people who this sort of manner of speech actually applies to, that's when you fucked up. Especially like myself, again, I've talked about this before. I'm an avid, ardent supporter of equality and acceptance for people of all races, sexualities, and whatever. So you don't want to take it to the point where you actually seem like you're making fun of this flamboyant stereotype. But maybe that might have been actually a factor in him reeling in a little bit. But I think he can push it a little more without entering caricature territory. So yeah, solid performance. Could be better. Hope it improves, but still pretty good. Anything you want to comment about any of these voice acting performances? Some that maybe you like a lot?
I do. I think Christina V is okay. Again, I'm not. I don't have the opinion that she's outright horrible.
Oh, neither do I. I think she's just. She's like.
I also like Coca Noise.
Oh, love. Julian Taylor is love.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, so good, good. And part of it is her dialogue. Her dialogue is just ridiculous, and she's so blunt. She's so crass and crude, and I just love her.
So yeah, I'm one of the few people who like Celica's English voice actress.
Oh, see that?
And I'm curious. I'm repeating myself. I'm curious how she will sound when she's in battle.
It's very interesting. Here's the thing. I mostly quite liked Celica's voice. There are definitely some rough patches and some general like emotive ranges that she's not very comfortable with Celica's voice. And maybe at times she would sound a little too maybe a little bit disgustingly sweet at times. But I think it was a solid performance. And I've seen Carrie Savage and other stuff, and she's run the gambit from like fucking terrible, like as she was in Hakufu, as Hakufu and Ikitosen. But then again, fucking terrible performance for a terrible show. But then I've seen her like in Romeo and Juliet, the anime series, and she was phenomenal in that show. So good in that damn show. I was actually shocked at how good she was because I had only known her to not be very good. And I think that Celica certainly isn't an amazing performance, but it's by no means bad. I think she's pretty good. She's just fine. I like her voice for Celica, and I like Celica. Apparently, a lot of people don't, but whatever. But I think Carrie Savage
the shoehorned effect into the story.
Right? Yeah. Well, I understand that, but in fact, Celica has actually been part of the BlazBlue universe for much longer than we know, than we knew. Because keep in mind, she was a part of these novels and stuff for years and years before Chrono Phantasma ever came out. And so maybe for the Japanese, it was less of a shoehorning in. Because for the Japanese, they've been reading about her for years.
Yeah, that's mainly why she got into Japanese fans were clamoring for her to get into the game.
Yeah, there you go. And they'd already read about her for years. Whereas we don't have any of those novels and stuff. We only have the games. And so when you bring a character that had previously been in novels for years, then suddenly make her appear in the games as a major character, it's a shell shock for the American players because it's like, well, who the hell is this character? I don't know this character. Who is she? Why is she so important? And so I understand people's perspective is like, well, she feels shoehorned in or whatever. But in fact, she's been here for a while. We just were not exposed to her prior. But it's not really a valid complaint saying that she feels shoehorned. She's been here for a while. We just didn't know it. But yeah, Celica. I like Celica. She's cute. And I like her entire relationship with Ragna. She beats around the bush. And obviously, she has far deeper feelings for Ragna than she's allowed him to know. But I like during one scene in the game. I forget what scene because again, it's been like a year since I played the story. But in one scene in the game, she mentions that there's someone she's into, and she's talking to Ragna, and Ragna asks, asks about it, and she says it's kind of an unrequited love situation, and of course she's talking about Ragna himself, where Ragna's so much of an idiot to realize that. I just think it's funny because she's able to, despite the fact she feels this way about someone, she's not so predisposed to her feelings that it's something she's chasing actively when she realizes there are far more important things at stake, and just the nature of her situation, not actually being somebody from that timeline, and how the fact that her time in this timeline could be up at any moment, and so I think she's hesitant to actually confess the way she feels to Ragna because she knows how temporary this entire engagement is, and it's kind of painful to watch it sometimes. But again, you respect her for being mature enough to make that decision.
Right. Not
to conceal herself.
Not many people have your opinion.
Regarding not Celica many people
and her relationship with Ragna.
Not many people think. Hardly. Most people are idiots. Okay, people don't know anything.
I think I got my first answer correct in this multiple choice thingy crap.
There you go.
Completely at random. Yeah. I'm sorry. Now, what were we talking about?
The first. Oh wait, hold on. All right, you're like 20 seconds behind me. I forget. But yeah, Celica. I like Celica. I like her quite a bit. The hate she gets, I don't understand it. People are idiots again. So fuck Arc Lancer. but yeah, whatever. And the final... No, wait. Yeah, that's all the new characters. Let's move on to some other stuff. Arachne, voiced by Spike Spencer of Neon Genesis Evangelion fame. He is actually the voice actor for Shinji Ikari in that series. One of the most iconic anime series of all time. I like Spike Spencer a lot. He's a really funny, really cool guy.
Right.
And I would love to know exactly how the hell they get that entire performance down. Like, what the hell what kind of processing do they put Spike Spencer's voice through? Because it's ridiculous. And I would love to know how much of it is just him and his raw acting ability.
Right.
I would love to. I think it's a very interesting performance because he never actually speaks in actual words. It's just sounds that are kind of like snippets of words, and it's very primal, yet very just ghost-like. It's a really cool performance. It's very interesting. I would love to know the process behind getting that performance. Hey, we have a new person in the chat, Ryosuke13.
Hello, anime brother. Hello, anime brother to you too. We are all brothers here who love anime and Blaze Blue.
Yeah, shout out to Ryosuke. I'm Sanosuke, and this is Zanthos, who is the creator and the runner of this stream chat.
Ryosuke related to Sanosuke? They sound really similar.
Oh, aren't you clever? Well, yeah. But yeah, Ryosuke, welcome, man. This is you want to explain what this is?
I am playing a game that is related to Blaze Blue. This is XBlaze Lost Memories. It's a sequel to XBlaze Code Embryo.
Yes.
It's a Japanese release, and sorry, I'm not I don't speak Japanese fluently. So basically, I'm just going through the gameplay segments, trying to provide commentary. But mainly right now, we're talking about the Blaze Blue main series and like English dub actors, their performances. That's the topic right now.
This is the stream for you, because we actually run. Well, Zanthos is actually the creator and operator of AniClash, which is the #1 anime fighter online tournament series based around Arc System Works' Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma. We're currently actually having a discussion about the English dubbing of the characters in the game. If you're familiar with the game, then feel free to interject at any point if you feel necessary. Yeah. We typically hold tournaments every Saturday at 7 p.m. We have a tournament this week called our 18th iteration of the main AniClash series of tournaments. Next week, April 18th, at 7 p.m., we were holding AniClash Nightmare Reaper, which is our second major in the series. It will be the end of our second season. It has a $260 pot prize for the top 4 finishers. That's sure to be an amazing event. I can link you in the chat to sign up if you are a Blaze Blue player and are at all interested. Or if you just want to get the deets on AniClash and everything that it stands for, everything we're trying to accomplish with the series, and just, the basics on the rundown if you're not a player, if you want to spectate and stop by and have some fun. For players and spectators alike, AniClash is a damn good time, and we have quite a few people who will attest to that fact. But he doesn't care about all that. He just wants to know who the girl with the silver hair is.